And the biggest transformation for me came when it was more than just me inside one of my ventures. When I started to really build the team, and that team was a team that counted on me, and eventually that business became something that paid other people's livings. Uh, there's an emotional, there's a physical, there's a financial, there's all these implications of support that fall on the leader of the venture. Once other people came into the business, that shift of how you take care of a team member changed a ton for me. For someone who had done a lot of things on their own, made some decisions. Yes, played team sports my whole life. I've never played an individual sport. So I've always been parts of teams, but moving to Australia, leaving on my own, right? Like making these choices, they were solo choices. Caring for people on your team when you're the leader has been the biggest transformation to me. I have learned so much, and I learn every day more about how to properly care for someone on your team from a holistic view, emotional, physical, financial, everything. It takes consistent dedication and care. You cannot take your eye off of the team. And that is the biggest change I think that I've seen over the last 5 years of being in business, of how I view the people on my team and how much I learn every day about how to care for them.
When we talk about teams, well, two things came to mind for me as you were saying that. I guess one would be, you've mentioned the word servant a lot, and here at MassMutual Great Lakes, we talk a lot about the idea of servant leadership, in that the idea behind leadership, I think people often think that leaders need to be like really outspoken, they need to be confident, they need to have the answers, they need to provide direction to their team, and it's been my experience as well that redefining what leadership should be and thinking about servant leadership, that really the best leaders are those servant leaders who understand how to serve their teammates, right? That's how we effectively lead people, how we effectively form teams, lead teams, contribute to team success, is based on that servant mentality, which seems to be a common theme with you throughout the way that you approach your organization, the way that you've approached the types of impact that you want to make in the world. Seems to be involved a lot around that servant idea.
Yeah, there's adverbs and there's verbs here. Consistently is an adverb, right? Consistently doesn't tell you much except that that the word consistently means over and over and over again with the same pace and vigor, right? The verb is doing and being present. And when you bring those together, to me, the minimum level of quality leadership is consistently, adverb, doing and being present. Now, if you hit that minimum, that to me is you are a quality leader if you can do well, execute at a high level consistently, and then just be present for your team consistently, right? And not give up on them. Now, from there, if you can communicate, you're into another tier. But like you said, you don't need to be outspoken from the get-go. I think that will always come. That will always be a natural progression of leadership. You will get more outspoken. First, focus on consistently, adverb, doing and being present, verbs.
What does it look like to be present for your team? What does that mean?
That's where that care component comes in, that you have to be switched on all the time. When Chad comes into the office, I need to make sure that I'm looking Chad in the eye, right? I'm watching Chad set his stuff down on his chair as he takes his coat off, as he puts his lunch in the fridge. How's his body language today versus yesterday, right? Did I have a quick check-in with Chad yesterday and I know that he actually has some things going on at home, or he had a big test for certification he was studying for? Like, there's so much baggage that we all carry with us every single day. And as a leader, I needed to have the right conversations to learn what's inside the suitcase that you carry with yourself every day, for good or for bad, and always be picking up on Chad's cues. Is he straining a little bit with that suitcase today? Is that suitcase lighter today? Cool. Awesome. Maybe I'll find out why it's lighter. Maybe I won't. I'm happy that it's lighter for him. But that's the do consistently and the be present consistently part, because if you're not there, if you're not present for that, you won't see that Chad looks like he's straining with that suitcase today. Hence, you won't have that conversation in the middle of the day of, hey, let's take a walk. What's happening, man? How's things going at home? And then when it comes time for me to ask Chad, hey, how come you didn't execute on this project? What's going on here? Right? I have none of that care and information to really make the valuable decisions that you need to make.
From a leadership standpoint, then what's happening? So as you're being present and you're noticing things about your team members, you're noticing when that suitcase is light or when that suitcase is heavy. Then what happens? As you're noticing these things, or if you notice something new, how are you approaching that when we talk about this idea of servant leadership with your team members?
So you have to first set your boundaries, right? You can't be over empathetic and take your team members' feelings home with you. But when you've set those boundaries up, right, you are trying to then just make sure that you get them to a level of trust that they can share exactly what's in the suitcase. A lot of people use the question, how can I help? It's a great question, right? And that's the question to ask. But we need to talk about, if you haven't done the legwork, how can I help means nothing. Because if you just walk up to someone on the street and they're having a lot of things going on and you say, how can I help, right? There's no emotional deposits, there's no trust, there's no love. You can't help them. But if you've put that in ahead of time and I can bring a team member to complete trust, then when I say, how can I help? They're going to tell me exactly how I can help. And then I just need to consistently do. I need to consistently adverb, then verb, do, help. However they've told me I can help, I need to then execute on that.
For more insights from top performers in sports and business, be sure to subscribe to Vision, Hustle, Grit, and Gratitude wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Vision, Hustle, Grit, and Gratitude. Until next time, keep doing great things.